Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. Amberlynn just uploaded, and here's a thought. If you upload a video titled, "My whole relationship was a lie, and I regret ever being in it," and most people's first reaction will be, which relationship are you talking about? Chances are you need to kind of rethink your approach to life, and relationships. And this is what people mean when they say that she's the common denominator. Now, she is too stubborn or stupid to understand what that means, because her response when somebody asked, why do you not understand you're the common denominator? She was like, it doesn't even make sense, because no matter what you do, you're the common denominator.
Have you ever realized that common denominator is you? I hate the saying the common denominator thing. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, because we're all the common denominator. So that's just the way that I view it.
And what she's failing to understand is, yeah, but your relationships, every single one of them end in disaster. And they all revolve around you. So anyway, she's going to play the victim, regardless of which relationship she's talking about. I think we can kind of assume who she's talking about right now, but let's find out. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would lead to really be hectic. I'm not going to lie.
Hello. Welcome to another Let's Talk video, which I absolutely love these. I think out of my new schedule, Let's Talk is my most favorite that I do, and then weekly vlog is my second.
Yeah, I wonder why. Let's see, last time she got asked why she's so wonderful, and the random comments that she chose and the random voicemails that she chose just happened to say, I believe you and I don't believe anything Beck's saying. So yeah, no wonder she loves Let's Talks, because she gets to pretend like she has so much support that when she gets random comments, they all kiss her ass. So yeah, no, this is just a way for her to choose her own questions and pretend like she is so loved. And she uses a random comment picker, but we all know, because it's all edited, so we all know that she's doing it enough times until she finds one she likes.
Second favorite. Not me playing choosy right now. But anyways, let's literally get right into it. First things first is sweet and sour. So that means I'm using a random comment generator for last week's episode, and I'm just going to choose some random comments. Let's get into it. Cat Scratch said, who the F is responsible for teaching Pookie the word ad nauseum? I just want to talk. I've known that word for literally ever. I just get in habits of saying the same words over and over. It's like an earworm. I don't know. It's really annoying. I get it. It even annoys me. Amber?
I don't know that I believe that. I think she learns a new word and she says it over and over again because she thinks it makes her sound smart, Now, even though this next question sounds like really mean and all that stuff, like she will every once in a while pick one that she can use to, play the victim. And she's going to use this to sort of gain sympathy from her viewers. Because this sounds like it's bullying, right? At least to her echo chamber, it sounds like she's being bullied. That's why she picks one like this. So I am still absolutely convinced that she's choosing questions to answer that she wants to answer.
Marie 8169 said, that shirt is repulsive on you, by the way. Dress your size and age, dude. First of all, I think I looked super cute. I love the outfit, love the shirt. I love the way it looks on me, and that is literally all that matters. Even Twinkie agrees. Lily,
I'm not sure what they're talking about, which dress or whatever they're talking about, but if it's this one, then you liking it is not all that matters, because that is like an affront to humanity. That's awful. Another reason she's doing this, she likes this segment, is because she's able to put these people on blast, right? She's able to use these people's names or their screen names or whatever for her echo chamber and her am babies to see. And now, obviously, when you make a comment, it's public. So, it's on you if you want to make the comment. And I do not recommend going to Amberlynn's channel and watching her videos. There are enough reaction channels. You can watch her content without giving her the view, and certainly don't comment. It just gives her engagement. So part of her kind of goal with this is she can kind of sick the am babies on these people.
Liana 7797 said, That second voice message sounds suspiciously like Alexis, LMAO. Nope, wasn't Alexis. And I've also heard around the grapevine that I'm using AI for the voice messages. Literally no. I have received hundreds of voice messages on Instagram. I don't need AI, honey. And I also don't need Alexis.
That is something that somebody that is using AI would say, you know, but I don't doubt that she's getting hundreds of voice messages. But last episode, every single one of them that were supposedly random, were all just complete baby ass kissers and talking about how Beck's horrible and she's great. So there is no way, given the law of averages, that out of hundreds of messages, she just happened to randomly pick like 5 or however many messages that were kissing her ass. Her comment section and almost everywhere you go where she is on the internet, the responses from people are like overwhelmingly negative. I mean, either she's using AI or she is really sifting through there to find the messages that she likes.
Super Musical Passion 1 said, the thing about hobbies is that most people who have a ton of them have phases where they aren't interested in any of them. Literally me. That is exactly how I am. Like, I will be obsessed with a hobby, spend so much money on it, fixated on it. That's all I want to do. It's all I think about. And then one day I wake up and I don't touch it again for like a year. Juju Jupiter said, you're...
And again, to her, it's a fixation and it's obsession and stuff. It's just like that person said, it's normal. And I think that's what they were saying was like, this is normal for people just to get really into something and then to kind of drop it, you know? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but she just has to act like she's unique and quirky, you know?
Sentence is poorly constructed. You don't have to tell me twice. I write better than I speak out loud, and I think it's because of nervousness. Addie QK.
Are we sure she writes better than she speaks out loud? Because she writes like shit too, so...
7114 said, K Lady Son is taking me out. It's Kayla Dyson. Genuinely, when I was filming the video, I didn't pick up on it. When I went back and edited, I was like, girl, that says Kayla Dyson. Like, what are you doing? But I just kept it in because it was kind of funny. But yeah.
No. She said, I left it in because it was kind of funny. If she noticed, she would have mentioned something because she doesn't want people to think she's stupid, right? So if she was in editing and, you know, every once in a while, she'll like make a little blurb in editing saying, you know, I'm watching this back and XYZ. She would have absolutely corrected herself in that moment. But no, she had no idea.
Anyways, now let's move on to Sippin' Community. So I post a community tab every single Monday for you guys to leave questions, concerns, whatever it may be, and I'm gonna go there.
Again, I said this in my last video, but think about how much she talks about herself. Like this entire video, which is not really any different than any of her other videos, it's just sort of structured in a way. And every section is, hey, here's an opportunity for you to either talk about me or to ask me something so that I can talk about me. That's it. And she has been doing this for 12 years. For somebody who has nothing to do and nothing going on, she talks about herself non-fucking stop. And she pretends like she doesn't like talking about herself. In fact, somebody said in one of the, I think it was the last episode, said, don't you get tired of talking about yourself? And she was like, I do. I'm so tired of talking about myself.
Do you ever get tired of talking about yourself constantly? Have you ever considered a hobby outside obsessing about yourself? I do. I get so tired of talking about myself, but like this is my job. So I have to do that.
Then do something else, right? She thinks she's so talented and so funny and so quirky, then come up with some other content rather than talking about yourself all the time. That's literally her entire content is either talking about herself or answering questions from people so she can talk about herself. That's it.
And answer those. Erica is not your ex. Her wife has every reason to be upset with you. Pull your head out of your shelf. First of all, no.
Pull your head out of your shelf. That's awesome. And yeah, this is stupid. I know she's going to make it seem like they were in such a great relationship or such a strong relationship.
First of all, no. Erica is my ex. We spoke for almost a year, and I was under the impression that every single thing that she told me was the truth. What she told me is that she was in a marriage that was only for financial reasons and that they were technically single. And that lie is just in the middle of a spider web of lies that Erica told me. I was under the impression that I was in a long distance relationship with someone who was actually loyal and faithful to me. But it turns out that not only were they lying to me, but Erica and her wife originally messaged me to be trolls. It was in a deceiving way. When Erica
Right, that's the point. That's what they're saying. That's why it wasn't a relationship. And also, you just met this person online. You know, you never actually saw each other face to face. Man, she is desperate, right? She is just always so desperate to call herself a girlfriend or call herself somebody's.
Erica's wife finally said, I don't want you talking to her anymore. Erica still kept talking to me. Not only did she keep talking to me, but she fell in love with me. She created a future with me, and we became partners. It was a relationship based off of mental intimacy and sexual intimacy that we shared in a...
You can't have sexual intimacy from miles apart, right? You can do sexual, I don't like talking about this, but you can do those things online and over the phone and all that stuff, but that's not intimacy.
Long distance way. So I'm saying text messages, videos, photos, phone calls, video calls. So since I have filmed this video,
see, here you go. If she had known that Kayla Dyson thing, this is what she would have done and corrected herself.
I have seen that a video that I sent Erica, a sexual and explicit video that only she has ever seen, is now being floated around the internet. That is revenge porn. It makes me realize that the cookie crumble cookie situation.
And even when she's trying to be serious, right? She's talking about revenge porn and she still says cookie crumble cookie situation. What a dingus.
Was also them. They are the ones who leaked it, and they gaslit me into believing it wasn't true. So yeah, this current revenge porn happened because I called Brittany out because she always posts me on her Instagram, and I do not understand why. I get it, you're hurt. Move on from me. Stop watching my content and stop watching content about me because it's giving obsessed. But honestly, I want anyone listening to this, do not break the law just to get back at someone, because I'm telling you, karma will find you and the law will find you as well. Because, you know, doing it the first time with Cookie Crumble, I was like, you know what, fuck it. But doing it again, you are now inciting fear, inciting harassment, and you are doing this out of malice.
I mean, it depends on how explicit it is, right? If you post pictures of somebody and they are clothed, you know, even if they're acting really provocatively and all that stuff, if they're clothed, if they don't show any actual like private areas, then it's not revenge porn. But I mean, this should be a lesson to anybody out there who is A, chronically online, and B, can only get relationships online. Maybe don't send those kinds of pictures to people that you meet on the internet, right? She has no idea who Erica is. Even if they were talking over the internet for however many months, she has no idea who this person is. If you show somebody in a bikini or whatever, like, sorry, I don't know what like pictures or videos she's talking about, and I don't want to know at all.
Be careful. I feel used.
No, and I love the threat of like, I'm going to be getting the law involved now. Like, again, it depends on what those pictures are and what's in them, but I don't see anything coming of that.
I feel lied to. I feel deceived. I feel betrayed. Erica's wife has every reason to be upset with Erica for what Erica did after the trolling stopped, which was falling in love with Amberlynn Reid and creating a relationship with her. I also have every reason.
And that is Amberlynn's narcissism, right? She can tell you that somebody else fell in love with her. Even if they say they didn't, she will just flat out tell you they fell in love with me.
It just really went to show like how much she did love me.
You know, that's just, she does that with everybody. It feels like she's trying to convince herself more than us, you know?
To be pissed off that someone who was my long distance girlfriend lied to me, cheated on me, betrayed me, gave me false hope, gave me a whole false narrative for almost a year. Why are you calling Erica your ex when y'all never even met in person? And she and her wife admitted that the whole reason Erica talked to you was to troll you. So first of all, the reason why I call Erica my ex-girlfriend, because we were in a relationship. Long distance or not, they both count. It's 2025. A lot of people have long distance relationships. And
kinda, I mean, you still have to meet in person. I mean, at some point, you really can't really call it a relationship. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just old fashioned. Maybe I'm just old, but it just seems really weird to me that somebody can be so invested in a relationship and has never met the person, right? For all Amberlynn knew, that was some random person, just like a catfish, you know? So, I don't know. It seems really kind of sad and like she needs somebody, so she just finds people online. I mean, she met Emily pretty quickly after they got together online. So, yeah, I think she's blowing that relationship far out of proportion, you know?
And yes, Erica and her wife admitted that they originally messaged me as a troll. It was 1 full month of Erica trolling me. Brittany finally said, stop talking to her. Erica kept talking to me for another 10 months without her wife's knowledge. I had no idea of any of this. Imagine being in a long distance relationship and later finding out that everything was not only...
And here's the thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I think Amber is coping a lot. Really trying to convince herself that Erica fell in love with her. But I don't know. Again, I don't really care because I think the whole thing is stupid. I think all of them suck. But if you know Amberlynn Reed enough to troll her and then fall in love with her, you need some help, friend.
Started on a foundation of a lie, but then it continued to be a lie, not only to me, but to Erica's wife. Why did Beck clean the cloths and not you? Beck didn't clean any cloths, I could tell you that. Why is there a toilet brush?
She loves to bring Beck into it. And, you know, yeah, that is exactly what somebody would say if they did make Beck clean the cloths and didn't want to admit it, you know? And as always, it goes back to who is more trustworthy. Because two people are telling two different sides of the story, and one of them is a proven unreliable narrator.
Why is there a toilet brush in your shower? There isn't.
Now I don't know because she's shown her shower a couple of times recently, and I would imagine that somebody must have seen something, but I don't know. So I went back and looked at a couple of her recent vlogs and recent videos where she shows her bathroom and her shower. And I didn't see anything. The shower curtain was closed for most of it, and she was covering up, you know, the shot for a lot of it. So I didn't see anything, but I don't know if you saw a toilet brush or something like that in the shower. Let me know. I'd like to see what they're talking about. I would guess that she probably needs something like that. And it could have been one of those loofahs on a stick or something, but either way, she probably needs something like that.
Can you talk about the recent pics circulating of you sitting on 2 chairs at bingo? That's obviously not real because that's not true. I use 1 chair and 1 chair only.
Again, I would love to see that picture because I'm not sure what she's talking about.
Could you please clarify your relationship with Yo Mama? I have received confirmation that his wife discovered inappropriate conversations between the two of you and asked him to stop talking to you. A lot of people thumbs this up and it makes me very uncomfortable. Me and Yo Mama have never spoken privately, not ever. The only communications that have ever happened has been him speaking to me publicly, like through a live stream, or me mentioning him like in a YouTube video. And I'm a lesbian. He is a man. So think about that for a minute. Is it difficult logging into 100 different accounts to give?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people reach, you know, just trying to figure out some way to get Amber, and that honestly is probably trolling. Like this part, the Yo Mama thing is probably just somebody trolling her, you know, so whatever. Even the person that like started that rumor is probably just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And they got a response, so I mean, it worked.
Is it difficult logging into 100 different accounts to give yourself all the positive comments? That is so embarrassing. Like, it's genuinely embarrassing that people actually think that just because I get a positive comment that it's from me. I have a lot of supporters out there. They're just very, very scared of publicly supporting me because when they do, they either get bashed or they get called, "Hi Amber, I know it's you." Like, I have never left myself a positive comment.
And I don't believe that for a minute. I think she has left herself a positive comment. Because remember, she has nothing but time all day. She has free time all day long. So I can see her doing it some. But she's not wrong in the sense that there are people out there that support her. Like, there are. And I know we don't like to admit it. We don't like to think of that. But it's true. There are people out there that think she's awesome. And it sucks, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. Even if you don't know, like, the stories, and even if you haven't watched reaction channels And maybe it's just because I have, and maybe I have like my frame of reference has been sort of tilted by that or shifted by that. But I feel like you could just watch her and just tell when she's lying and tell that she's just full of shit. Because I remember the first time I discovered Amberlynn Reid, one of my first thoughts was, man, she is full of shit. Like you can just tell when she's lying. You can tell when she's exaggerating or tell when she's not being truthful. And it was all the time. It seemed like it was constant. But there is so much opposition to Amberlynn Reid, and it is so prevalent. You can easily find out why people don't like her. And if you don't do that, if you don't go looking to find out why she's so hated online, then that's a problem. You should try to figure that out. And B, if you have done that and you still support her, then you're definitely a problem. But there are people like that out there.
Did you know that lying for other people is still considered lying? Yes, and you would do it too if you were protecting the person that you love.
I mean, maybe. You know, what I would say is maybe just don't say anything at all as far as the lying. Because I think she was lying for Emily, because Emily's obviously a feeder, like obviously. And then after they broke up, Amber was like, I've lied for her. And, never said what about, but we know what about. But yeah, and I was going to say, best thing to do would just be quiet, not say anything about it. But she can't do that, right? She can't just be quiet. She has to talk about whatever's going on. And she ends up making it worse for herself because she can't shut up. She thinks she's being such a great partner by lying for her partner. But really, she's just making things worse for both of them.
Why don't you show us randomly picking so we know you're not completely lying and cherry picking nice voice notes? Any voice memo that I have done and that I have heard have been nice. And it's actually genuinely surprised me, probably as much as it has surprised you guys. I don't get much hate in my DMs, but sometimes I do. So I was expecting to get a lot of hateful voice memos because I'm giving you guys the chance to just tell me whatever. Tell me any concerns, ask me any questions.
See, all of this and her facial expressions and stuff, she's lying.
And it's all been genuinely really nice. So it makes me realize I do have a lot of supporters, and the people who leave these comments, they're just trying to get, the trendy comment. Who can get the most likes? Who can say the most meanest shit? I see through it all, really. How are you not more embarrassed about destroying?
I mean, that is sort of true. And stop leaving comments on her channel, right? You're giving her engagement and you're just making things better for her. Even if it's mean, it's still engagement. But it really does baffle me that there are people that can watch her and like her at all, period, because she's so boring and so self-absorbed. I don't know how people don't see that, right? I don't know how the supporters don't at some point go, man, she is so fucking full of herself. But apparently they're okay with that, or they like it or something.
How are you not more embarrassed about destroying a marriage? I feel bad about the situation because when I found out that Erica was married, which was I want to say 8 months into us speaking, I should have just called it quits. I regret that wholeheartedly. I regret the whole relationship, period. But I'm not the one that broke up their marriage. It was Erica.
Yeah, but I don't know. Again, I think she's blowing that relationship out of proportion. And I don't care. Honestly, I'm just going to move on because I just don't care. I'm tired of talking about them.
How can you say your meal with 9 or 10 potatoes was only 450 calories? Just the potatoes alone were 1,000 or more. So the potatoes that I use actually come in this pre-packaged thing where on the back of it is a label of how much is a serving. And since they're small potatoes, you get a lot of small potatoes for a serving.
Yeah, but you're not eating the potatoes raw. You're putting a bunch of butter and oil and just stuff on them. And that's what adds a bunch of calories to them.
Potatoes are very low in calories. They're high in carbs, but they're very low in calories. So I look at the serving, I measure it out. If I want 1 serving, 1.5 servings, 2 servings, it's all pretty standard. All I have to do is measure it out and bam, that's the calories. All right, you guys, now we're on to the link.
And here's the thing, even if that's true, which I'm not convinced she really knows what she's doing, but even if that's true, it doesn't matter. She's going to do it for a few days and she's going to go right back to what she was doing before anyway. So she can pretend like she is a professional calorie counter all she wants, but it never lasts. And it won't this time either because Amberlynn never changes. Now here's the voice memos, right? This is where we're going to hear probably a lot of ass kissing and a lot of strange voices would be my guess.
This is where on Instagram, you guys send me voice memos, and I'm so excited. This part is so fun for me because you guys get to interview me. So if you want to do that, you can send me a voice memo on Instagram. But if you don't have that option, all you have to do is send me a microphone emoji so I can accept your message request. And I'm going to send you a little smiley face emoji back, and that means you can then send me a voice memo. Do keep in mind that no matter when you send the voice memo, you still have a chance to be chosen because I choose old ones, I choose new ones. Doesn't even matter. You always have a chance. Let's get into it.
Out of like all the hectic moments and situation type deals that you've been through, which situation or issue do you wish you would like handled better? Because a lot of the times I notice that you tend to address situations really quickly, and so your emotions could be heightened.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there's like any situation.
Again, it is a person saying, you know, sometimes your emotions get the best of you and you don't handle things the best way that you could. And it's ass kissing, and it's giving her an opportunity. It's enabling her. And this is just going to set her up to talk about her BPD, right? It's an emotional thing. She's going to talk about her emotional regulation or whatever. And that's what she lives for, man. She wants to be able to talk about her emotions and how she handles them.
Situation that you wish you addressed differently and giving yourself more time to really consider what you're going to say and think through.
I'm going to say every situation I've ever been here on YouTube because you're right. My emotions get super heightened.
And here's the thing. If your BPD is so bad that you can't control how you react to things and you regret every situation that has come up, then maybe you shouldn't be on the internet, right? Maybe you shouldn't be a public figure, be out in front of everybody, able to react the way you do.
Act in a way that I normally wouldn't. I feel like even in this video, it has happened.
Hi Amber, here's one that isn't serious, but I just want to know, what ASMR do you watch? Like, do you have any favorite channels?
You know what's annoying is she will do the very bare minimum of work in her videos. So instead of actually like using the voice memo files to play them in her editing software so you can hear them, she just plays it on her computer for her phone to pick up. And so you can barely hear it. And just so you know, I actually turned up the volume of the voice messages in editing. So it's a little louder, but the sound was so bad on her end that it's still pretty hard to understand and hear. So sorry about that. But she doesn't give a shit if it's good quality, right? She doesn't care if she's putting out quality content. She just wants to do it as easily as possible so she can get it over with and move on with doom scrolling and finding comments about herself.
Or like types of
And eating.
videos that you like? Thank you.
I do. And
This question is stupid, and I'm probably going to skip it.
Hi Amber, we love you so much. We've been watching your videos for so many years, and we want to know that body image can be such a sensitive topic for like lots of people. So how do you navigate maintaining a healthy and emotional approach while sharing your story online? Thank you so much for answering our question. Bye.
aw, I love your guys' accents. I genuinely don't know how I do it. And I know that's such an annoying answer, but like so many people ask like, how do you do this? How do you have the confidence? Like, how do you handle the hate? Like, I don't know.
She doesn't. She loses her shit. She goes live and then deletes it. She makes things worse for herself constantly. But yet she's going to act, you know, I'm just so good at it. You know, over the years, I've learned to be such a great role model when it comes to handling the hate, you know.
I genuinely do not know. And I hate that that's my answer because I want to give something more in depth. A part of me blames it on my childhood, like, because I went through so much. So I had to be strong at such an early age. Because it's like, if I didn't go through all that crap that made me have strength, I don't know if I'd be able to handle all this.
She is one of the thinnest skinned people on earth, right? She cannot handle criticism. She cannot handle hate. That's why she won't let anything go. If she has heard a reaction channel has mentioned anything about her, she will address it in one of her videos. Hands down, she will. So, strength my ass. Shut up.
What's something that you're working on internally that your audience might not know?
Ooh, something I'm working on internally that my audience doesn't know. There's a lot, but like, which
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. You know, she's so deep, you guys. There's just so much about her you just don't know about. You know, she's really on a journey behind the scenes. Okay.
which one am I willing to share is the question. So I'm not going to say what kind of relationship it is, but there is a relationship in my life that I'm currently going through where I feel like there's a lot of resentment because like I've known them for years and years and years and years and years. And I'm trying to like navigate that.
Of course, she's saying that to start the speculation that she's got a new, girlfriend or caretaker or whatever.
Hi, Amber. Mike
Hello.
from Washington, D.C. here. I've been a long-time viewer, going back many years, even since the Crystal era. I do have one question. If someone were to watch your entire YouTube history in the form of a documentary, all your ups and downs and successes and failures, how do you think they'd walk away feeling about you? And do you agree with that version of yourself?
If we could trust Amberlynn to be honest, or if we could ask somebody who knows Amberlynn to answer that question, that's a pretty good question. Because if anybody with 2 fucking brain cells to rub together would watch Amberlynn's entire video library, they would walk away realizing she is a hardcore narcissist, a self-absorbed abuser, and somebody who does not give a single corner turd about anybody but herself. But let's see what Amber thinks people would walk away thinking about her.
Wow. That question gave me the goosebumps. That's a good question.
Yeah, see, she thinks it's a great question because in her mind, she is so deep and there's so much about her that is so misunderstood. So she's like, this is such a great opportunity for me to explore how deep I am and how misunderstood I am.
I think that they would feel frustrated with me because if I'm going to act like I'm not myself, if I look from an outsider perspective, I would be like, girl, just get it together. You have the tools. You are capable. You can do this. Why aren't you doing this? Let me take your shoulders and shake you. I'm so frustrated.
See, she is painting herself as this person who is so misunderstood and so, has such an uphill battle. She's got so many things working against her. And it's like, what she's saying is from the outside, people are like, girl, you can do it. You are capable. And I know it's hard, but you can do it. No, she is a horrible monster of a narcissistic abuser who uses mental health as an excuse to continue her bad behavior and refuses to ever even entertain the idea of taking real accountability. So of course, she's going to think of herself as the martyr, as the person who is so persecuted and has such a difficult life. She makes life difficult for others. That is her legacy.
I genuinely feel like they'll leave feeling frustrated. And do I agree with that? Absolutely. 100%.
Again, if they had 2 brain cells to rub together, they would leave feeling infuriated and knowing that you are a malignant narcissist.
Would you get another dog if Twinkie dies?
Oh my God, that's so sad. The answer is no. Twinkie is my heart and my soul. Without her, I don't even want to think about it. I'm going to be devastated and I don't want another dog to take her spot. That's never.
Okay, I couldn't hear it because, again, Amber doesn't even take a second to try to make her videos any kind of quality, but I'm guessing they asked, are you going to get another dog when Twinkie dies? And like, of course, when you have a dog, you're not going to think about that, but she will. They said, why haven't you considered reading the Harry Potter books? I'm going to skip this because this is dumb.
Your voice is perfect for ASMR. I'm not going to lie. I have been feeling a little anxious this video. I did start it feeling uplifted and excited for it, but the topic of Erica makes me want to just ignore the world and have a really big anxiety panic attack because genuinely I regret that relationship so bad. So I have been feeling super anxious.
In my Red Flags series, in the last episode, and the Red Flags series is where I'm watching all the videos in the Beck era, starting back in 2017, kind of from the very beginning. And that's where we are, is right at the beginning. So we are in 2017 watching those old videos. She went to see It with Beck. And she said the movie gave her anxiety because there were scary things around every corner. There were scary things happening all the time. And I made a comment that was like, no wonder she thinks she has all these mental health issues and mental problems. She thinks this feeling of anticipation, this normal feeling that everybody has when you go to a scary movie, she calls it anxiety. She thinks it's anxiety. So when she has a normal feeling that everybody feels, right? Like she's probably sad and she's probably embarrassed and she's probably guilty when she thinks of the relationship with Erica. And instead of understanding what those feelings are, she says she's going to have a panic attack because it's anxiety. I don't think that's what it is. I think she just doesn't understand that she's feeling normal feelings that everybody else feels because she has main character syndrome. She is chronically unique. Everything she feels is so special that it's a mental disorder.
Hi, Amber. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to send you a voice memo. My mom and I watch all of your videos.
Aww.
And our question is, how do you measure success beyond the scale? Okay, love you. Bye.
Love that. Oh my God.
She measures success outside the scale. That's all she does. It's always like, I ate one less fry today than I did last time. Success. I'm proud of myself. Every measure of success that she has is some bullshit, random, arbitrary thing that she has just decided is some sort of victory, right? Like, I haven't ordered delivery as many times, but I'm still eating at restaurants and still eating at bingo and doing all this stuff. So almost every single success she sees when it comes to her weight has nothing to do with the scale, because the scale never really changes, right? It goes up and down, but it stays right where, I mean, we're right where we were a year ago. She has not made any progress at all. So she has to measure it by some stupid, arbitrary, measure of success.
Hello to you and your mother. So I measure success beyond the scale in so many different ways. Like, are we talking mentally, emotionally, physically? I don't even know. So we're just going to go with physically. For me, it's easy. It's the way that I walk, the speed that I walk, and the stamina and the breathing that I'm experiencing. Like, I was just talking to my mom about it when we went to the casino last. I'm like walking through this casino, like nothing's wrong. Like, I was walking quicker than usual. I was waddling less. It's because even though I had only been down like 6 pounds, it's 6 pounds of heavy water weight that I was experiencing. And when that comes off of like my legs, especially because I have lymphedema and lipedema, like I feel so completely different. And I know like you can't understand that unless you experience it and have my type of body. But I'm telling you, if someone took away the scale and I strictly had to just go based on the way my body feels.
And how are these people that like her and support her and have watched her longer than a month or two, how do they not realize that she has said this exact thing 5,000 times? She has said it and failed and said it and failed, and she uses this as an excuse. How do they not get tired of hearing her say the same shit over and over again and not realize she is so full of it? She has no idea what she's talking about. I'm starting to get more frustrated and upset by the idiots that support her than her. Because here's the thing, we know she's never going to change. We know Amber. This is nothing new. But the fact that there are people out there that watch this and are like, I just like her so much, I'm so excited to talk to her and I'm so proud of her. Like, what a bunch of idiots. Jesus Christ.
1,000%. It's the way that my stamina is and the way that I walk and the way that my legs feel. I hope that's what you were asking. I don't know.
Hey Amber, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit weird. I'm currently sick. Hope the fat baby's very okay. Say hi to Twinkie for me. My question is, what do you think is like the biggest trigger for you to binge eat or go off track? But yeah, have a good day. Bye.
Oh, thank you. And I hope you feel better soon. And Twinkie, she said hello. Yeah, she did. So my biggest trigger for me to fall off track is 2 things. Either one, when I get in the headspace of like, I literally just don't care. That's a danger zone for real.
What does that even mean? Like, when I get in the headspace where I just literally don't care. And I think what she's trying to say is when she's upset, right? When somebody says something mean or she starts hearing stuff about exes or whatever, and it's starting to piss her off. And she just says, fuck the world, and I'm going to just do what I want. That's, I think, what she means. But, I mean, that could mean anything, honestly.
The second thing is like emotional eating. If I'm feeling extremely depressed or lonely, or if I have a lot of anxiety that day, like that genuinely sends me down like a spiral of like, I need to like do something that makes me feel good. And eating does that for me.
She acts like that's not something that she does every single day. The way she's talking about it is like, every once in a while, I just feel these really strong emotions and I need to eat. But you eat that way every single day. So you can try to come up with these reasons and these like triggers, but this is just the way you eat. You eat too much every day. That's just the way it is. If you didn't, you wouldn't be this size. If you only ate emotionally when you were feeling extreme emotions, you probably wouldn't be this size. But of course, her response to that is, my BPD, I feel extreme emotions all day, every day. So then there's another problem. If that's the case, then you're eating emotionally every single day. So when you say, I want to eat this specific thing because it fills me up and I won't be hungry anymore, that means jack diddly squat, right?
Was there a moment today that you were about to fall off track, but you stopped yourself? Honestly, no, because I'm eating foods that are genuinely filling me up, leaving me satisfied. So I'm not feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to overeat, or uh-oh, I'm going to fall off track.
Because hunger isn't the issue. The emotional eating is, and you say yourself that your emotions are always extreme and out of whack, and that you emotionally eat. And so you're doing that every day. So hunger isn't the issue. So stop saying, I'm going to eat this because it is so filling. And then that way I'll know I won't eat the rest of the day, or I won't eat until whatever, because that obviously doesn't work.
He does that for a lot of people.
Hey, Amberlynn. I hope you excuse my German accent, but I want to ask you if you ever get jealous if you see, for example, girls that are skinny. Do you feel that you get jealous of them, or do you envy them for let's say, fitting in the beauty standards when, in the typical beauty standards when you yourself you don't? I would really appreciate for you to answer honestly. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So it's kind of crazy. The only time I experience true jealousy is in a relationship. I know that sounds crazy, but no, I don't get jealous.
So she probably doesn't experience jealousy like most of us do, right? Most of us see people with stuff or see people with sort of a life that we're like, man, I wish I could live like that. She doesn't really feel that way. She gets jealous for attention, right? She wants the attention that people get because that's all that she wants. That's all she craves is attention. And so she's probably not lying here where she says, I don't really get jealous all that much. You know what eats her lunch that Karina Kaboom and Jordy and Mr. Snowflake and all them get more views than she does? That has to just really piss her off.
Of skinny people or girls that fit in the beauty standard, like you said.
She eye fucks herself in the viewfinder constantly. So yeah, she's not jealous of the way other people look because she is absolutely fine with the way she looks. She thinks she is perfect.
I don't get jealous of that. I more so get frustrated with the fact that why can't we all be beautiful regardless of the number on the scale?
Hi, Amberlynn. My name's Chris, and I'm a huge fan of yours. I really admire how you consistently stay so positive in the face.
This is definitely AI. Now, could it be somebody sending her an AI voice? Maybe, but this is absolutely 100% AI.
Of so much negativity. And truth be told, you're really cute. My question is how you think your life might have been different if you'd been put up for adoption as a young child instead of going into foster care and having your parents coming in and out of your life. I know you have a great relationship with your mother now, but do you think having had a family who loved you throughout all those difficult years would have given you a better life today? I'm an adoptee myself, and I'm forever grateful to my birth mother, whom I recently...
Okay, no. This 100% was her setting this question up for herself. Look at this. She was already starting to cry. Come on. Oh my God. She is just setting up the question so that she can be all emotional about her childhood. God damn it. And this is obviously AI.
And truth be told, you're really cute.
This random AI message said, truth be told, you're really cute. Okay.
My question is how you think your life might have been different if you'd been put up for adoption as a young child instead of going into foster care and having your parents coming in and out of your life. I know you have a great relationship with your mother.
Look, she's forcing it. She's look, she is pushing the tears out right now.
But do you think having had a family who loved you throughout all those difficult years would have given you a better life today? I'm an adoptee myself, and I'm forever grateful to my birth mother.
Now, listen, some of those other voices may or may not be an AI. I don't think so. I think those were legit. I think she cherry-picked them. But this one, I am convinced that this is her. She typed this out to give her an opportunity to talk about her childhood and all of her trauma and everything. This is so obvious.
Thank you for the question, and I am so emotional. You have to give me a second. So thank you for sharing your story. This does make me emotional because I have two brothers that were put up for adoption when they were babies. One of them did find us a few years ago, and he's been in my life ever since. And the other one I think about literally daily, and I miss him so much. I wonder how he's doing, where he's at, but it was closed adoption, so I don't even know if he knows that I exist. But what you asked me is something that, especially when I was younger, like I asked myself a lot. I asked myself, why were my brothers adopted? Why wasn't I? I would ask myself, not only wasn't I adopted, but my own parents don't want to get better for me. Like, it was a lot of me feeling like I wasn't worthy. I wasn't worthy of love. Parents.
I understand that it's not really that fair to put all the responsibility onto a kid, whether or not they got adopted. And that's all. That's the end of that thought.
Without a doubt, my life would be different right now if I would have been adopted. But as much as I had those like questions of like, why am I not good enough? I am just a kid. Like, why am I not loved? Why am I not taken care of correctly, etc., etc.? Like, I'm glad that I wasn't adopted, because it's like, I don't know what my life would have looked like if I was. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. I don't fully know the reason, but I want to say that I am where I am because I'm supposed to be. Holy, yeah, this is heavy. This is a lot. Okay.
Hi, Amber. I've been watching you for years now, and I just wanted to say I really admire how unapologetically yourself you've been since day one. Despite all the negativity you get on a daily basis, it's clear you haven't.
No, she hasn't. She adopts the personality of everybody she comes in contact with. She has never been herself for a minute. And she changes everything about herself as soon as she starts realizing that people are saying something about whatever. So, no. Again, she is the thinnest skinned person on the internet. She cannot handle criticism. She cannot handle any actual, like, advice. If somebody tries to help her, she gets defensive. So, who are these people? Who are these people that can watch her for more than a few minutes and not be like, man, what is wrong with this person? God, they suck, man.
To change who you are at all, which is honestly kind of iconic, I guess you could say.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever come across another YouTuber who's so relentlessly consistent in what they put out there.
Okay, so the first time I heard that, I thought she said relentlessly persistent, but no, this AI person likely said relentlessly consistent. And you can call Amberlynn Reid a lot of things, but consistent is not one of them. The only thing she's ever been consistent on is failure. That is it. So this person is living in Delulu land.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to stay that true to themselves, even when people keep trying to tear them down?
Again, this is another example of like, I literally don't know how I do it, and genuinely, because the truth is like,
I'm just so amazing. I just don't know how I do it, you know? I'm just built different. I mean, she is built different, but that's, you know, again, as a former person of calories, I can make those kind of jokes. She said it herself.
I don't know what I would tell someone else, because if someone else was getting like the type of hate that I was getting, I wouldn't want them to like have to endure that, to have to experience that. But if it was just like the normal amount of hate, because yes, this is the internet and there is like a normal amount of hate, I would.
And again, she will never ask herself, why is it that she gets so much hate specifically, right? From the very beginning, she never thought for a second that she could be the problem. That is a like major trait of lol cows, is they have a crippling lack of self-awareness, right? They will never, ever, ever entertain the idea that they could be the problem or that there's anything wrong with them. You know, early on, she convinced herself that the reason the internet, you know, at large, hates her so much specifically is because she's fat. You know, she was able to use that as a scapegoat forever. So she will never even think that she could be the problem.
Tell them just like, know your worth. Know that you are worth whatever passions you have for YouTube. Like, if you enjoy it, like, you are worth it. Like, you deserve to be able to be on this platform. And just know, like, be yourself regardless of anything else, because you will find people who love you. You will find supporters. Just trust in the process and it will happen. I know it's easier said than done. For real, for real. Sometimes just like putting a wall up between you and like the negativity and like.
Yeah, how's that going for you? She can't not talk about it. She can't not be in the middle of it. She says constantly, I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore the haters. And then as soon as some, you know, reaction channel or somebody on Reddit or something says something about her, she's got to defend it. She's got to talk about it. She's got to make excuses for it or whatever. So this is all just such bullshit. It is such like transparent, obvious bullshit. And that's why it's so frustrating knowing that there really are people out there that listen to this and believe it and actually see her as an inspiration. Can you imagine? Oh my God, can you actually believe there are people in this world that can watch Amberlynn Reid for more than a few minutes and see her as an inspiration? And here's the thing, you don't need to know all of her backstory. Once you know her backstory, it should be pretty obvious that she's not an inspiration or a role model. But even if you don't know that, it should become so clear very quickly if you watch her for more than a week or two that she is so profoundly full of shit.
Like purposely finding like an outlet to the positivity, it can really make you just focus in on that. And that's kind of what I do. I do not read the comments under my YouTube videos. I can't do it. Sometimes I will read the ones from my members, and I have all comments turned off on my Instagram, on my TikTok. The only comments that I actually read is for the community tab during this video. And then I allow myself to read my private messages on my Instagram because that is where all the support is. Because I'm trying to block off.
Yeah, she creates an echo chamber for herself. And that's how she can continue this narcissistic supply and all these people kissing her ass, because she puts herself in a bubble of supporters and they enable her. They enable her to act like she is a victim when she is the problem.
Go tunnel vision into the positive so I can stay in that little Delulu area.
You hear that?
Tunnel vision into the positive so I can stay in that little Delulu area.
She just admits that she stays in delusion. Like, as silly as she's trying to make that sound, that's actually what's happening. She is putting herself in an echo chamber so that she can remain delusional. I mean, think about that. That's true. That's actually what's happening.
Guys, now we're going to go on to tea or tail. So this is simply where I am taking some rumors that I hear floating around and I'm going to tell you if that's tea or tail. So the first one is Destiny's mom hated Amberlynn. So the reason why I feel like this is like being talked about a lot lately is because the whole live stream between Beck and Destiny that they did. And I'm just going to let you know now that I loved and adored Destiny's mom. When me and Destiny were actually in a relationship together and we lived with Destiny's mom, things did get rocky. Yes, it did. I want to cast light on the love that we had for each other. When me and Destiny broke up and I was with Beck, me and Destiny's mom would message each other a lot. And she saw that I was unhappy and she saw how badly I needed someone without me even having to tell her.
So this is what she does. Like, her measure of whether or not she has a good relationship with somebody is what they can do for her, right? A normal person will be like, yeah, we still talked and we were friendly and, you know, we had a great relationship even after we broke up. It was a we thing. But for her, it's, yeah, we still talked afterwards and she helped me. She was doing things for me. Everything she does is based on what somebody can do for her.
She would call me her adoptive daughter, and then that transpired to literally I was just her daughter. I have text messages of her begging me to come live with her and saying things like, come home, come to me. I want to be there for you. And these are messages that like I'm going to hold on to forever because.
Are you buying that? I really hope Destiny hears this and can shed some light on that, because I cannot imagine a world where somebody can live with Amberlynn for an extended period of time and when she leaves that they would want her to come back.
Because I loved her dearly. Yes, we had rocky times when me and Destiny were living with her, but after that and after me and Destiny broke up, me and her mom got extremely close. So it's hard for me to like see all these negative things being said because that's not the truth. That's not the correct narrative. Like I remember after she passed away, Destiny actually sent me a video of her mom filming, and in the video it was like
I would love for Destiny to clarify this stuff. Because, and I would love for, well, of course, I would love for Amber to show the text messages, but, you know, she's going to say, that's awful. Why would you say that? You know, she's passed and blah, blah, blah. But also she could fake it. You know, if she did show it, she would easily fake it, and she would do it. She would absolutely fake something like that. But something tells me Destiny probably has a different story as to what happened after they broke up, because it's convenient that Amberlynn can say, yeah, after we broke up, me and her mom had a relationship that she doesn't even know about. Like, okay. And people have said that Amberlynn has never gotten along with any of her ex's parents. But of course, she picks Destiny's mom, who is no longer with us and so can't corroborate her story. And we have evidence that her and Beck's mom didn't get along, so she can't really use that as a relationship that, you know, worked. So, yeah, I think it's very intentional that she would choose Destiny's mom to talk about.
Private video that no one ever saw. And in the private video, like, her mom is saying how much she loves me. And it's just like, it means the world to me because she was there for me when I felt like I had nobody. Just give me a second. Okay, on to the next one. It takes years to die.
I'm pretty disgusted by that because I just don't believe it. I don't believe that she and Destiny's mom had a great relationship after they broke up. I just don't.
It takes years to diagnose someone with BPD. So that's not true. It could take a couple weeks to a couple months. For me, it took 8 months where I had a weekly appointment with my psychologist.
Regardless of how long it takes, it honestly is mostly self-reporting, right? So, yeah, you could diagnose somebody with BPD in a week, but it's all based on what they tell you. So it would be really difficult to get somebody like Amberlynn to be honest about their symptoms and their, you know, mental state.
And the last one is Amberlynn loves to brag about being the side chick. Literally, no. Just imagine knowing someone for almost a year and being in a relationship with them for more than half of that and finding out that everything is a lie. You would be pissed too. The whole thing is...
Yeah, but the problem is you keep talking about it, right? And I understand that Britney's posting and all that stuff, and they clearly want attention too. But you're acting as though it's a badge of honor. I mean, like, whether you mean to or not, that's the way you're acting. You're acting like she was your girl, she's your ex. So, I mean, it comes off as like you are proud that you were the third woman, you know?
Is messy, and I hate every single last fraction of it, and I wish it would all just disappear. All right, so next is bad choices. It's where I pick 5 of these doodads in here, so let's pick 5 random ones.
Cards.
1, 2, 3.
Those cards are doodads.
3, 4, 5. Have you ever taken a call or texted during sex? The answer is yes, I have. I have taken a call. If your partner wanted to have sex with you with a full clown makeup on, would you be down? Absolutely not. That is not my cup of tea at all. Have you ever had sex with someone you met on Tinder? Tinder, no. Online, yes. I've never even had a Tinder.
Well, but that's not the point, right? The idea behind met on Tinder is that it's a like one night stand. You've met everybody you've had a relationship with online. So obviously, if you ever did that, it would have been with somebody you met online. The point of the question was, have you ever done it with somebody on Tinder? Because that's like a one night stand sort of thing. She's missing the point because she's dumb.
Before. Have you ever used a Tinder? No. Online? Yes. I've never even had a Tinder before. Have you ever used a vegetable as a sex toy? Oh my God, absolutely not. Would you sleep with a really sexy person even though they had horrific BO? Sure.
I wonder why. Is it because she's used to the BO, right? She's just sort of nose blind to it because she can smell herself all the time. I mean, maybe. Of course, she does use a lot of perfume, so I don't know.
Because, like, can't you just, like, wash up your armpits and then put on some deodorant beforehand?
That misses the point of the question. Like, it's the spirit of the question. You could manipulate every question to make it work for you, but no, the point is that never mind. This is gross, and I don't even know why I'm talking about it.
Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this Let's Talk, and I'll see you in my next one.
All right, I'm not even going to let her start her kiss bullshit. Anyway, I think what's happening right now in Amberlynn's mind is a couple of things. She is getting more support than probably ever. And I think that is inflating her ego, but she's also getting more hate than ever. So that is causing her to spiral at the same time. So she is caught in this like whirlwind of both sides, and she is like more delusional than ever now because she's caught in between those two worlds. So I think she's retreating into Delulu land. That's why in her weigh-in yesterday, she was acting like she knew everything there was to know about weight loss, and it's the most delusional I've ever seen her. I mean, she has always kind of had a Dunning-Kruger effect when it comes to weight loss and always pretended to be an expert, but it is on a new level right now. And then today, with all the supporters and the fact that she really thinks that her life is just such a difficult uphill battle, but she is so strong and she doesn't know how she does it. She doesn't know how she, gets through her difficult life. So yeah, she is on a new level of delusion at this point. And I'm here for it, honestly. As infuriating as it is pretty entertaining, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes next. So yeah, we are living in Delulu land, you guys. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.